What happens when the line between art and reality dissolves into darkness? When the haunting lyrics of a rising star no longer sound like music, but like a confession? Could a pop icon's greatest hits be more than just songs? Could they be a blueprint to a crime too terrible to imagine? How do we reconcile the idol we loved with the possibility that he hid a sinister truth beneath his fame? It all started with a smell. Not just any smell, but the kind that clings to the back of your throat. Sour, rancid, almost oily in the thick Los Angeles heat. The kind of smell that makes even the most seasoned cops freeze mid-step. It came from a black Tesla parked in the city's impound lot between dented sedans, sun-faded SUVs, and the metallic corpses of forgotten vehicles. At a glance, it looked like just another abandoned luxury ride, a relic of someone's recklessness or misfortune. But that stench whispered something different, something darker. A tow yard worker gagged. Another instinctively pulled his shirt up over his face. The officers on scene moved in slowly, reluctantly, already bracing for what they'd have to face. The car's front trunk, sealed shut, had clearly been tampered with, reinforced with plastic and fiberglass. But the California sun has no mercy, and no amount of wrapping could stop the heat from doing its work. When the hatch was finally pried open, it wasn't just shock that greeted them. It was a scene straight from a nightmare, something surreal in its cruelty, almost cinematic in its horror. What they found inside wasn't just a body, it was the remains of a teenage girl, wrapped in layers of plastic and tape, left to decompose in silence. Even the most hardened detectives stepped back, their expressions hardening as the reality set in. By morning, the victim had a name: Celeste Rivas, 15 years old, last seen in Lake Elsinore more than a year ago. Her face had once been on missing posters, pinned up in school hallways and gas stations. Her curly hair and bright smile were instantly recognizable to neighbors who hadn't seen her since that Valentine's Day. For over a year, her family had clung to hope that she might still walk back through the door, or call, or be found alive somewhere. But that hope ended here, in the sweltering dark of a Tesla's frunk. And then came the twist. The car's plates, Texas tags, traced back to none other than David Anthony Burke, 20 years old. Known to millions online as D4VD, he was a breakout star in the alt-pop world. A kid who had risen from posting haunting love songs in his bedroom on TikTok to selling out concert halls across the country. His brooding lyrics, laced with heartbreak and obsession, had made him a Gen Z icon. But now, his name was tied to something far more chilling than chart-topping singles. What happened between a missing girl from Lake Elsinore and a young pop sensation? How did their paths cross, and what secrets did that car hold beyond the heat and the horror? Now, David's name wasn't trending for music, it was trending for murder. The timing was almost surreal. He was scheduled to perform in San Francisco the very night the story broke. Within hours, his entire US tour was canceled. Brands and record labels slammed the brakes, pulling promo material and wiping his name from upcoming releases. What had once been a carefully built career, rooted in indie gloom aesthetics and heartbreak lyrics, collapsed in real time. And then, as the internet always does, it began to dig. Fans, bloggers, Reddit sleuths, and armchair detectives tore apart every lyric, every tattoo, every music video searching for clues. David's biggest hit, Romantic Homicide, once quoted wistfully on social media, suddenly read like a confession. Lines about obsession, regret, and death ricocheted across police forums and YouTube breakdowns. Worse still, whispers spread about an unreleased track allegedly titled Celeste. The idea that the missing girl's name was locked away in his music vault was something no one could ignore. Was David leaving behind a trail of musical breadcrumbs? Were his performances mere theatrics? Caskets carried on stage, shirts smeared with fake blood, condolence guest books, or rehearsals for something far darker? Then there was the tattoo. Celeste had one on her right index finger. Shh! Photos showed David sporting the same mark, only after her disappearance. A coincidence? Maybe. But in a case already heavy with eerie synchronicity, the timing felt sinister. Police raided a Hollywood Hills home where David had been staying, hauling out bags of electronics and other evidence. Neighbors whispered about late-night noise, strange deliveries, figures coming and going at odd hours. Rumors multiplied, hidden rooms, digging in the backyard, maybe even more victims. Meanwhile, the Tesla itself became part of the mystery. Residents in the Bird Streets neighborhood recalled seeing it move from curb to curb as if someone was buying time, hoping the city's indifference would keep questions at bay. It drifted from wealthy neighborhoods to rundown lots, blending into LA's background noise, until the stench finally gave it away. What secrets lie buried beneath the surface of fame and music? How much of this was performance, and how much was something far more sinister? Neighbors whispered about late-night noises, strange deliveries, and figures coming and going at odd hours. Rumors multiplied: hidden rooms, backyard digging, maybe even more victims. Meanwhile, the Tesla itself became part of the mystery. Residents of the Bird Streets recalled seeing the car move from curb to curb as if someone was buying time, hoping the city's apathy would keep questions at bay. It drifted from upscale neighborhoods to rundown lots, blending into LA's background noise, until the stench finally gave it away. Was it sloppy panic or a taunt? A twisted game of hide and seek with law enforcement? The industry scrambled for damage control. Leaked emails hinted at executives in full panic mode, desperate to control the narrative before it destroyed everyone involved. Ticket sellers quietly issued refunds. His label, Darkroom Records, went nearly silent, erasing his name as if he never existed. But silence only fueled speculation. Some whispered that executives had known about Celeste long before the discovery, which lawyers had smoothed over close calls, and that certain evidence was deliberately buried before police could seize it. As detectives sifted through hard drives and lyrics, the lines between art and reality began to blur beyond recognition. Was David a misunderstood artist caught in a cruel coincidence? Or had he been confessing all along, in plain sight, hidden within his music? Was Romantic Homicide simply a song, or a chilling blueprint? Was Celeste an unreleased track, or a eulogy written before her body was even discovered? Fans who once screamed his lyrics now combed them for hidden clues, while subreddits dissected his performances frame by frame. Meanwhile, whispers of cult rumors, missing girls, and industry cover-ups keep the internet ablaze. Celeste's family grieves in silence, the record label hides behind lawyers, and David himself has vanished into the same quiet that shrouded the car which betrayed him. We are left suspended between two terrifying possibilities. Either this is the tragic downfall of a misunderstood artist destroyed by coincidence, or the most chilling pop scandal of a generation, one where the songs were never just songs, but confessions sung into the void, ignored until it was too late. So, what do you think? Were we all dancing along to warnings disguised as art? Or are we witnessing another star consumed by conspiracy and coincidence? Either way, this story is far from over.